The weather had cleared and the air was cool as the last of June 5th, 1944 ticked away. On the coast of England, 4,000 ships and several thousand smaller craft were ready and waiting for the men. The men who had trained and sweated and anticipated this moment for weeks and months and years. They all had a score to settle. At airfields scattered throughout the English countryside, paratroopers and airborne infantry emerged from final briefings. To these men fell the task of spearheading the invasion. They headed out to take their positions in the waiting planes. It was automatic. It had been rehearsed this way 100 times before. Over 1,000 planes and gliders moved down the runways and prepared to take off into the night. Under cover of a fading sky, they converged into a solid formation and headed for France. Over the heavy-laden troop convoys, over the craft filled with supplies and equipment, over the combined British and American battle fleets assembled in the English Channel to form the mightiest armada in history. The long-awaited Second Front was about to become a reality. At carefully chosen tactical points from Cherbourg to Le Havre, the outer ring of Hitler's fortress Europe was suddenly overrun with paratroopers. Strategic objectives were besieged by specially trained, hand-picked men. At dawn on D-Day, 1,000 U.S. heavy bombers resumed the attack on coastal batteries begun by the RAF the night before. The planes were joined by the 640 guns of the warships lying offshore. Cover of fire from the greatest aerial naval bombardment in the history of warfare, the infantry went ashore. Went ashore and proceeded to do the impossible. They established beachheads where the Nazis said no beachheads could be established. tactical air forces struck out against immediate targets in the rear of the enemy lines. They smashed railroads, blasted bridges, bombed key road junctions, knocked out power and water supplies, and strafed the grounded Luftwaffe. During the day, the heavy overcast rose to 3,000 feet, and aerial operations were stepped up. In all, 13,000 sorties were flown by Allied aircraft, 8,000 of which were made by the AAF. The Marauders and A-20s, bombing from low altitudes and flying as many as 3 missions a day, continued the tactical assault in cooperation with the ground troops. This has been an airman's view of a D-Day, but the war is not over. For every airman flying combat, every mission is an H-hour and a D-Day. Despite the headlines, there is no over-optimism among the men and women pressing the attack. They know that throughout Nazi-controlled Europe and the spread-out empire of Japan, savage fighting lies ahead. The forces of fascism, the forces of tyranny and aggression must be destroyed. You men in the 3rd are being prepared to help finish that job. See that you're ready to do it.
It should be apparent to all of you that combat calls for all a man has in the line of brains, teamwork, and guts. If you have learned your job while training in the 3rd Air Force, you can take off on your HR missions, confident of your ability to destroy the enemy, and confident, too, of your ability to return to base again and again until ultimate total victory is won.